Hi, this class is English 101. My name is Sarah Rodriguez, and I was assigned to the pro choice side of abortion. The case first came about Roe versus Wade back in 1973 when a woman by the name of Norma McCorry um, took a case to the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court of Texas was denying her the right to an abortion. Since then, abortion has been legal, but it has remained to be very controversial. Prior to that ruling, there was as many as 200 women that died on average each year of abortion going wrong, complications, infection, excessive bleeding. It goes on and on. What women were also subjected at that time they were subjected if they were going to have an abortion, were to back alley abortions where maybe somebody unlicensed that wasn't licensed to do the procedure would do the procedure on them. Again, referring back to potentially them bleeding, having an infection, even running the risk of, depending on how they did the procedure, of sterilization. Women prior to that ruling, by desperate measures, were even ingesting rat poison. It wasn't uncommon for a woman to throw herself down the stairs, to fall, hoping to separate the placenta from the uterus, to start the contractions, to go into premature labor, and the end result having a miscarriage. A recent ruling in Alabama has placed restrictions on women being able to get abortions. The first thing that they must do is they must see a counselor 48 hours prior to having the procedure done. And this is done to discourage a woman from wanting to have an abortion. The second thing is Alabama, the restrictions they put in place is the Affordable Care Act. It put restrictions where they will only cover the procedure, one, if the pregnancy is a result of rape and there is an actual police filing to support it. If there is, I guess if it's a case of incest, or if the mother's life is at risk, if the mother is endangered, the health. When I was doing my investigation, I realized that when I went to healthplace.com, the percentages of incest related to pregnancy is less than 0.5, not even a full 1%. The occurrence on that they have found in studies of incest actually occurring is on average of 4%, and usually in many cases incest is not discovered until there is a pregnancy that is disclosed, or that a girl will end up finding out that she's pregnant by going either to check or go to the hospital or having complications. The information, just wanting to refer back for where I found Roe versus Wade, is Britannica.com. US of Today, there was a study performed back in 2014 that found that 1/3 of Republican women support abortion. So it's not something where we can say it's left versus right or conservative versus liberal. This is a woman's concern, and that it's something that it affects all women. It affects their fundamental rights. It affects them, the right to their own body. And when Roe versus Wade was first passed, it was found that it violated the Fourth Amendment, a woman's constitutional right to privacy. Information that I found on that was on Britannica.com. Going over to the pro-choice information that I did discover on their side, I did come across many of the pro-choice, whether it's the Catholic Church or it's the evangelistic church. I've came across several Bible verses that many times they refer to. One in particular was Psalms 139, 13 through 14, and I quote, For you created my inmost being, knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I knew that full well. So that is just one of the many biblical verses that some pro-life people refer to. One study I found I did find that off of the New Living Translation. One study that I found from the Bowling Green State University, a study that was conducted in 2018, it revealed that 81% of women that had an abortion suffered some sort of anxiety, depression, alcoholism, illicit insomnia, in extreme cases, even suicidal behaviors as a result. And that was 81% that they had found that women that had an abortion end up suffering the long term. Some women even suffer from physical complications from having an abortion. As I had mentioned earlier, some women, that didn't have proper treatment during the abortion, they're at risk for having sterilization. Perhaps the abortion was botched, excessive bleeding, infection. Those are, another thing that a lot of pro-life people on the movement say that must be considered with abortion as well. Many pro-life profess that abortion, they consider as infanticide. Infanticide is killing of a baby. Looking at Very Well Family, I found that the medical establishment defines viability at 23 weeks of gestation. So that, coupled with the most recent laws that have passed, in particular, the one that recently passed January 23rd, 2020 in New York, it now allows a woman, if she decides to terminate her pregnancy, at 24 weeks. Granted, the medical field does state that at 24 weeks, if a child was born, the percentage of him having complications, especially the lungs not being developed, is relatively high. As high as up to 70%, and needing to be on an incubator for respiratory support. 1 in 10 pregnancies result in early delivery, and early delivery is anything before 37 weeks. They consider from 37 weeks to 40 weeks is full term. I found that information on verywellfamily.com. Another study that I did find on the usccb.org for pro-choice. A U.S. Census, the Census Bureau revealed that 5 million women, more than men, live below the poverty line. Of these women, 31% are head of household and are single. You know, with that being said, and all these things that women have to go through, I can see where women, you know, would honestly be concerned if rulings continue to take place and they get overturned. We can see where there could be a concern where some women are saying that, you know, they're concerned that it's going to put them at risk to having to resort to the times where people had illegally, you know, obtained an abortion, and by means of potentially putting their lives at risk. And even, you know, depending how extreme the rulings and certain legislations are overturned, will that also, you know, will that put in the question of people even being taken to prison? I mean, what will it lead to? So that is my final information that I have. Again, you know, pro-choice. It is something that, you know, it's a very personal issue, and we do see how women should, you know, have the right to decide. Who can honestly say, you know, and tell a woman, you know, you can't have children if they can have children. It's the same thing, either or. And right now, there's not much people talking about that. Thank you for watching.